beginning to believe that lunging toward the far right attempting to peddle electric cars may not be the ideal business strategy after all. Based on new polling out of Germany, with a sample of 100,000 respondents, it is a rejection which couldn't be more evident. More than 94% of T-Online readers responded that they won't buy a Tesla again. Only 3% said that they would still consider a car from the previous electrical pioneer. Approximately 100,000 readers voted, a record turnout. The message is clear: Germans are turning their backs to Tesla. And whereas it's easy to cast off polling, the actual sales numbers confirm the results. Tesla sales were down a staggering 76% in Germany, all while overall EV sales in actuality increased by 31%. And not only Germany or Tesla, sales seem to be falling behind across the world. Australia sales are down 71%. In Denmark, Sweden, and Norway, they're trailing 42 to 48%. Behind in France, 26%. In China, the number of Teslas being produced dropped 49%. In spite of Chinese rival BYD has witnessed sales increase by 90%. And right here in the US, sales fell 11%. That is after Ford Chevrolet and Volkswagen both recorded sales percentages increase at the same time. In other words, the data is undeniable, which might cast doubt on the sales strategy of attempting to sell electric cars, mainly popular among customers who enjoy environmental issues, while simultaneously positioning yourself with a far-right movement that believes climate change is a hoax, and that democracy needs to be rewritten by a type of technocratic oligarchy. And lo, I could not own a car company, but I have a business degree from a reputable business school by myself. I simply cannot recall the class in which we were instructed to discover our consumer base, and thereafter act in the most aggressive way possible to that same consumer base until they cease purchasing your products. But then I had learned a lot in college. Maybe I missed that class in the German context. Especially Elon has thrown his lot in line with the far-right AfD party. Essentially the contemporary counterpart to the Nazi Party. Just approximately 20% of German voters identify with the AfD party in the latest election, despite Elon trying. He used his considerable resources and leverage to expand the party prior to the voters voting. A move that was instantly condemned everywhere. The German political divide.
Dass die Faschisten nicht nur von Putin gekauft sind, sondern auch von einem rechtsradikal gewordenen Multimilliardär unterstützt werden, sagt ganz viel über die Faschisten aus. Sie sind eine Truppe von Landesverrätern, die auch noch gekauft sind von Milliardären.
Ich habe mich gewundert, weil eigentlich liest man, Elon Musk sei das Wunderkind und besonders begabt. Bei dieser Aussage muss ich daran zweifeln. Verändern kann nur jemand etwas, der regiert. Die AfD wird aber nicht regieren, weil niemand mit dieser Partei eine Regierung bilden wird.
Ja, das ist schon eine Einmischung, ne? Also das ist keine Frage. Aber es bleibt dabei, dass er nicht wirklich inhaltlich zu irgendwas beiträgt und er auch, glaube ich, gar nicht weiß, wie die Diskussionen in Deutschland politisch laufen.
For and all that followed was emphatically not a windfall gain for the AfD, but rather Europe waking up to Elon's far-right bend. Here, for example, is a float in a German parade, with Elon being called Napoleon, with an American flag, and tatters while he foams at the mouth, and a physician chases him with a straitjacket.
Apropos Elon, ja, das ist dieser verhaltensauffällige Tech-Milliardär aus den USA. Und bei Daniela Patenzi, unserer Kollegin, ist jetzt Jacques Tilly live auf der Tribüne, der mal erklären kann, was mit diesem Wagen eigentlich sagen wollte.
In case the metaphor was too subtle, and the most ironic part, not unlike the partisan strategy towards EVs here in the United States, see here's AfD advertisement. Same group that Elon had been supporting with fire consuming a Tesla, once more bizarre, to throw your lot in for a political party that loathes you. Product and worldview. That was ask him the same question that I asked Mark Cuban in our latest interview. Here's what he had to say, and therein lies the real concern. Elon is just happy to stop selling cars as part of his pursuit of power. He knows that he would have the same access if he aligned himself on the left side, because the left isn't prepared to kowtow a nascent oligarch. The left is not prepared to provide to him what he desires on taxes. The left isn't about to ignore his contempt for his employees, whom he does not permit to unionize. But the right will, and it clearly has. And so if that means that he's going to lose some auto sales, in deference to his broader quest, his yearning for power, then so let it be. And by the way, what Elon's lost in individual sales, he is more than making up for in government contracts, which I guess should not be a total surprise to one who already has $38 billion in government subsidies. Just weeks ago, the Trump administration's FAA tried to cancel a forthcoming $2.4 billion transaction with Verizon, and instead present it to surprise Elon Musk's Starlink. That is to say nothing of the full-blown Tesla ad that Trump aired on tax dollars on the White House South Lawn. So here we are going to discover if Elon's wager comes good, where he gives up his entire customer base in his breathless pursuit of political power and outright corruption. Sales are plummeting in Europe. His price per share is off almost 50% of us here in America, and the numbers seem to be moving only in one direction. The world is perhaps somewhat smarter than Elon Musk is giving them credit.